Alright, Jake Phelps here. So you bought the Alaskan Sawmill by Granberg and you're like, now what? Well, I'm going to show you exactly what to do. The benefits of 3 years and 3 months without a single drop of alcohol or any drugs whatsoever besides caffeine and nicotine. Alright, so what we're going to do here is run this down exactly. And when I say exactly, I mean exactly. You're going to get the full spectrum on exactly how all this stuff works. If S&S's will kind of put those crabs down that we worked our butts off to catch, maybe she could go ahead and film this real quick.
I hope you don't mind crab on your phone then.
It's okay. Here you go. All right. So what you do here is, this was my first one, right here, and it works fine. It worked really good. What I had was a, it's like a 2x8 or 6, and it's got holes in it. It's got 6 holes in it, and what I used was 5-inch lag bolts, and I used nuts and washers as spacers. And you know, I would just kind of put this on the log and then put those in there. And the PVC is real nice because you get less resistance with PVC on aluminum than aluminum on aluminum. Not to mention it's not going to wear out your aluminum if you use this a lot like I do. So what happened was, since it's a board and it's old, even though it's a good board, it had a slight bow in it. And when I say slight, I mean ever so slightly. But I didn't want, I want perfect lumber. I want my first cuts to be perfect so that I don't, you know, it minimizes on my planing, my joining, all that fun stuff after the lumber is produced. So what I went ahead and did was I upgraded. And the way I do, I'm going to show, this is a lot. I wasn't ever going to do videos about this stuff because it's just so in-depth and there's so much to it and there's so much to know. I thought it'd be impossible to undertake this and make instructional videos on it. I kind of thought in my head it was something you had to kind of, you know, you had to kind of learn on your own. But I'm going to do my best here to give people, you know, to kind of just show the basis of this. All right, so you bought the Granberg. You got, you know, impact. You got a good chainsaw. You got to have a good chainsaw. And you got to have something to run this thing on, which is super duper important. So what I got here is I have a ladder. And even when I put the PVC on the ladder, the PVC was still not 100% correct. And the way I check this is I go down like this and I look at it. Right now it is 100% correct. If S&S's will kind of pan down and show the, you know, if you look and she pans all the way down, you can see that these two things are perfectly lined up. And that is so important when you're milling lumber, in my opinion, so that when you dry it and what have you, you know, it's you have perfectly straight lumber. Another important thing with milling lumber is you want to look to make sure that you're you look at your rings. Okay, you look at your high point on here, and then you want to count your rings on this side, and then you want to go over here and count your rings. And you want to find your ring on your tree, and you want to make sure that your measurement from the top of this, okay, until whatever ring you pick, like say it's like the 4th one or something, is exactly the same. That way when you mill your lumber, what happens is it's, you know, it's going to stay straight more than likely. It's going to stay with the curvature of the tree. Everything's just going to stay a whole lot more in alignment. All right, so this is what I use, 5-inch lag bolts, and I use an impact to drive them into the tree. And this is just the first video on this. I will do more, you know, about the actual milling process, because like I said, it's very in-depth and intensive. You know, and this, what I'm planning on doing with this is, you know, I'm just going to drill holes in the rungs of the ladder. I'm going to do 2 here, 2 in the middle, 2 on the end. And what I have here, this is 10 foot. I'm also going to cut off the ends here. And I'm going to mill my lumber to the specifications of, and the cat seems to have kind of wandered off. So we're gonna take a second and
Go fetch him.
go fetch the cat so it doesn't run off. All right, back to it. And you got to have a good saw. It's got to be a big saw, and you got to make sure. See, with this right here, if SNDSs will come a little bit closer. With this setup here, my previous one, my beta one, the way I worked it was I went ahead and I knew it was exactly 6 inches for my first cut on the guide right here. And with the guide, when you're doing your measurements, some people wonder exactly where you put the edge of the black to the silver. You put it directly in the middle of the line. That's how you do your measurements with this stuff and with any kind of tools that that are, you know, kind of precision. That's how they're built to make. They strike the line in the middle. Okay, and so I knew that being as though these were you know, I knew 6 inches was my safe mark on here when I used these and I had the PVC on this, and it worked great. I mean, it really, you know, it did, but it wasn't perfect. I want perfect lumber, so that's why I went ahead and upgraded to this. And I didn't want to buy a ladder, so I ran in the junkyard and I got this one. I made sure it was very straight. And okay, so the next part on constructing this thing, go to the junkyard. Okay, you got your saw, you got your Granberg Alaskan, what is it? I don't know, I think it's just an Alaskan. Next step, buy two pieces of PVC, okay? And you know, just like I said before, it just makes the whole thing easier. It's 1.5 inch. And when you're in the store, just kind of roll it on the floor to make sure it's straight. That's what I did, you know, before buying it. I bought the 2 straightest pieces they had in the rack. And all right, the next thing here I did was I went ahead and I put a dab of Fuse It by Liquid Nails on each rung. Boom, 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 and then put these on here. And then I just put this clamp on them. They're drying right now, so I'm probably going to come back through and hit them all again. I'm going to have to get another bottle of this because I use this stuff a lot. And on this end though, okay, since, like I said, when I stepped back to begin with and I looked at it, this end right here, I noticed was a little bit lower than the rest of it. So what I did to remedy that was I put 2 washers here and two more washers here. And I mean, you're not gonna be able to see them, but they're under there. And you know, I just secured them with this stuff. And I'm gonna go ahead and you know, after this dries, put another coat on everything, just to make sure this thing stays in place, you know, for the most part. And another thing with using PVC instead of aluminum is your reverberation. Okay, you got less reverberation, not to mention that you're using something round, so you're getting overall less resistance, just, you know, because that's the way it is. They really should, I guess it's a wear issue, but it kind of seems to me like they should make these round. But, you know, I guess it would wear quicker, so maybe not the best, you know, the best option. But with this, you know, I do believe it is the way to go. So, you know, in a nutshell, I'm just letting this dry, and, you know, I'll do another video about, you know, my procedure as far as actually, you know, milling this stuff. And, you know, I'll do them in step-by-step videos. I'm not going to try to do all this at once because it's just way too much. But this is the first part, all right? If you bought one of these or you're thinking about buying one of these and you're wondering how the heck do I get that first straight cut, this is how you you build the stuff to do it. Because, of course, Granberg ain't going to tell you this because they want you to buy their aluminum crap. So anyway, I will let SNDS's get back to eating her crabs.
Crabs, thank you.
Yep, and
Breakfast.
yep, and there will be crabbing videos coming soon. We didn't want to post this crabbing yet just because we're not ready for y'all, and when you first start, it's really hectic. But I mean, you know, we had a good day. We did have a good day, and she has to go find her cat. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.